Anyone in close proximity has the same dream.
What is it?
A secret that can no longer be kept. It started a month ago.
What started?
A change in the earth and the sky. His power.
There's a weird locking mechanism. Looks like it can only be opened from the inside.
A life form is growing out of prebiotic fluid. It's not winding down into disorder. It's self-organizing. It's becoming something. What?
Hi everyone and welcome to Geekfest Rants. My name is Steve Avona. Today we're going to be providing you with another one of our commentaries. So joining me, he shares my name, he shares my love of Carpenter. Say hi, Steve.
Hello everyone.
And then we have Carlos.
Hi, Carlos.
Before we get into the film, I just wanted to ask Steve quickly, what is the significance of this film in the Carpenter canon?
Well, the film that we're going to talk about today is Prince of Darkness. And this is the second in what Carpenter calls his apocalyptic trilogy, the first of which being The Thing, starring Kurt Russell, and the last of which being In the Mouth of Madness, starring Sam Neill. So this is the middle child of the trilogy.
Right. And hopefully we'll get to In the Mouth of Madness at some point, somewhere down the line. So, Carlos, you want to give us our visual cues?
Sure. As usual, we need to cue this up. We're watching a standard DVD version of the film. What I would like everyone to do right now is go to the menu. And once you reach the menu part of the DVD, there's a scenes section. Click into the scenes section. And now you have all your scenes. Go to scene 1. It's called the key main title. Highlight that scene and hit enter now. And I'll give you a few more here and there. Here comes the Universal logo, the old Universal logo.
And we have the opening strains of the soundtrack.
Yeah, any second now. Universal and MCA Company. And Alive Films presents Larry Franco production.
And we're in. So here we have a priest who is just died. And here's our main title.
Now, does he always have John Carpenter's, or when did he start doing that, do you know?
Did he do that for Halloween?
Well, I know for The Thing, it's John Carpenter's The Thing. I wonder when
I don't think
he would do it.
I don't know if it necessarily became part of the title until The Thing. I'm not, I honestly can't say. There's Jameson Parker, sporting his Riptide mustache.
Or Simon and Simon.
Simon and Simon.
There's another Riptide guy.
But there is a
Look,
Riptide guy.
There is a Riptide guy.
Half his mustache is too long. Look at that.
Yeah, it's not even.
We're going to have to fix that when we do the Blu-ray special.
Hair, makeup.
George Lucas can fix that.
If you notice the even the font that they're using for the title sequence is it's probably the same as Escape from New York.
Yeah.
And The Thing.
And
right. It might be a little bit. What year is this supposed to be? Like 80s?
Well, this is 87.
But the movie takes place around that time also.
Yeah, It's present day.
Present day.
That must be uncomfortable sleeping with that thing.
I could picture a few friends of ours sleeping like that.
There he is.
The evil is here.
And we have Donald Pleasance
as Father Loomis.
Right.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, crap.
Referencing his character in Halloween. Now, this is his, if you want to count Halloween 2, his fourth and final collaboration with John Carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
But is he playing the same character?
No.
It's just an
no.
homage.
It's just an homage.
Oh, okay.
There's Victor Wong,
You never could beat me again.
fresh off Big Trouble in Little China the
Yeah.
year before. Now, what's interesting, what I came across in my research about Victor Wong, he came to acting very late in his life.
Mm-hmm.
And he was actually, among other things, a photojournalist. He worked in public television in the late 60s in San Francisco. And he was a beat poet in the early 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy had a very interesting life before he came to acting. And people of our generation not only would know him for Big Trouble in Little China, but also The Golden Child.
Mm-hmm.
I want the
I
knife.
want the knife. Right.
Please.
Well, what do we know about Prince of Darkness box office?
Box
Not
office.
so good.
Not so. It's interesting. I believe the movie was made for $3 million.
Wow.
People don't consider it a hit. It kind of came and went,
Mm-hmm.
but it was profitable. It made back its money and then some.
Right.
So, you know, I know I didn't see this in the theater when it came out, and a lot of my friends did, but you know, he was still getting money to make movies. After this, he did They Live the following year. So, you know, people don't consider it part of his, you know, big successes, but it was a profitable film.
Well, I know it was critically lambasted
Yeah.
by several prominent critics.
Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
18. And this film actually, as Steve mentioned before, came off the heels of Big Trouble in Little China, which was a studio film and was a complete bomb. So this was not affiliated with the studio. This was Carpenter's, this was an independent film.
Right.
And did They Live follow this up?
Yes, immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. They Live is 88. This is 87.
Dennis Dunn.
Dennis Dunn.
Also from Big Trouble in Little China.
Right.
It's the Carpenter way.
Yes,
You know,
the
like,
ensemble.
once you're brought into into the family, he likes to work with the same people.
Yep.
Kurt Russell, obviously, of which is one of the
Yeah.
best beneficiaries of that.
Yep. Kurt Russell, Donald Pleasance. There's the late Lisa Blount.
Yes. It was kind of odd, the circumstances surrounding her death. I
Yeah.
think she was only in her mid-50s.
Right. Early
And-
50s. Yeah.
Early 50s, yeah, like 53. She's from Little Rock, Arkansas, and she was found in her home. I think she had some sort of condition, a heart defect.
Right.
Now, is this L.A.?
This is L.A. And that's a real church.
So a little foreshadowing of events to come, where we see the red fire ants
Yes.
swarming a bit earlier.
I believe this church was, it still exists and was named a historical landmark.
Mm-hmm.
Because of this film?
Yes. Exactly. And the interiors are a studio.
Universal, obviously.
No, I don't think Universal.
Really?
No, I'm not sure exactly where, but I mean, Universal put up some money for this film, but as Steve pointed out, this is an independent
They
production.
let him do it on his
yeah.
own.
Yeah, he was given a certain amount of money, a very limited amount of money. And that's also, too, you know, you talk about his ensembles. He uses people like Jameson Parker. You know, he has no problem putting TV actors or no-name actors in the mix as long as they do the part. And he obviously didn't have the money to pay a star salary.
Well, that's probably the key thing, right?
Well,
there.
yeah, but you know, the actors he chooses in his ensembles, they all fit the roles.
Stalker.
Yeah, he's digging her.
These are college students, but they're a little older.
Oh, well, good graduate
grad
students.
students.
Grad
Yeah.
students? Okay.
Perhaps studying for their doctorate as well.
Right. Now, Alan Howarth, who he collaborates with on the soundtrack,
Yes.
did Escape from New York, Big Trouble in Little China.
Jeez.
They Live, Christine, and some of the non-Carpenter efforts are The Osterman Weekend, Battle Beyond the Stars, Final Countdown, and several of the Halloween films, Halloween's 2 through 6.
Now, is his right now just a romantic interest?
Jameson Parker?
Right. He's kind of
he's kind of checking her out, and he digs her.
What are those? Is that like a computer printer? I don't understand.
It's like a typewriter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's interesting. I don't remember if this is explicit in the film, but that Donald Pleasance's character, Father Loomis, and Professor Birak, Victor Wong, have some sort of prior relationship where they had either debated the issues of science and religion, and that's why he contacts him.
Right.
Oh, Jameson Parker has a sweatshirt on that says Neil, Kneal. That's for Nigel Neal, the screenwriter who Carpenter loves so much, who wrote the classic Hammer Quatermass films. That's the pseudonym that Carpenter uses, Martin Quatermass, for his writing credit. And also, Nigel Neal is the man who wrote the script, the original script for Halloween 3, and later disowned it. And
because they messed with
it so much, and he wasn't a big fan of Carpenter after that.
But Carpenter only he produced.
Yeah, but he produced
Halloween 3.
Yeah, and he produced 2 and 3.
Or executive produced.
No, I think he had a real hand in it.
Yeah.
I think he definitely, with the script, I think he tinkered with it.
He just mentioned he debated him a few years ago.
That's right. Now, I'm going to steal a phrase that I once heard Steve use in a prior podcast just to talk about the theme of this film. And it's the collision of science and faith.
Mm-hmm.
You used that once before. We were talking about Lost, and I like that. I think that's a perfect way to describe this film.
So we need Tony Rossi for this commentary. This is perfect.
Because this is heavy stuff we're dealing with. And we're dealing with it from Carpenter's perspective, and he is definitely not a man of faith.
Once again, very little dialogue so far.
Well, they're setting a mood.
Right.
They really, it's very ominous.
They're essentially isolating us in the same way that the rest of the cast is soon to become isolated.
We're still in the credit roll. I mean,
we're still in the credit roll.
It's like they're positioning chess pieces in the
Yes.
board.
Right,
We haven't started the game yet.
And I like the fact that that they're doing it that way.
I don't think the mustache works.
It's the 80s. Now I think this is a little like throwaway thing, but I think this whole supernova thing
They want to tie it in.
is a tie-in.
He's doing card tricks. Anything special about that?
With his shirt open.
He's just showing off.
There are the ants.
Oh yeah, look
in
at
the
that.
TV. Yuck.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that church. It's like it doesn't belong there. It's like a little,
Yeah.
like a little old building out of nowhere.
I think a lot of people just didn't get this film. They were used to a certain kind of film from Carpenter up until this point. Or maybe, he had done Big Trouble in Little China, which was a sort of a genre mashup. And this film is not quite horror, not quite science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's funny because it's like a rundown town, but it has a vibe of Halloween. It doesn't have the suburbia nice looking, but the look of it almost looks 70s.
Yeah.
Well, it looks a lot like Assault on Precinct 13.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got that.
I mean, I just constantly flash back to that when I watch this film.
Absolutely.
It doesn't look as modern as the previous ones.
Right. I think the set design is great, especially as we get towards the goo.
The green goo. So do we know what was in the little box?
The key.
A
Wasn't
key.
it a key?
Oh,
It
the
was a
key.
key
Yeah.
to the door that is now taking us into this labyrinth.
I had a senior moment there. Sorry.
Well, the movie is 25 years old now.
You didn't take your ginkgo before doing this?
No, I forgot.
It's like the Da Vinci Code.
It's, I mean, I don't know. I find it hard to swallow the notion of this sect that the Holy See has no clue about. And
Okay, so
I just kind of go with
So,
it.
Steve, when a priest takes you into a room like this, what is the first thing you
Oh,
do?
geez, that Tony would have just shut the commentary off right there.
Run for your
You're a
life.
heathen. And there it is. Now, I always turn to you, Carlos, for these. Is that animation?
No, this looks like a real effect.
That's a practical?
Just a swirly water mass, probably, or even a piece of paper with lit up from the inside or something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, they couldn't afford animation back then.
No, well, Carpenter couldn't afford anything.
No, that's not that difficult of an effect. It could be water, or it could be a translucent sheet going in circles. And so they've written over it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
And I guess they're doing it to kind of mask what it really is about. That's why it's been written over.
You could say this is a prequel to Halloween.
Huh?
You could say this is before Michael Myers was born. They've been hiding him in the bottom of the church.
Oh, Jesus.
It could happen. Come on.
Okay.
Michael Myers is a human.
Yeah.
Not if you watch that movie.
He's a strong human.
Yeah. Look at that 80s
Wow.
ensemble
Look at that. With the rolled up
Screams,
sleeves.
oh yeah.
and the pants.
I need an Olivia Newton-John song right now. She's pretty nice looking.
Huh?
This girl's pretty nice looking.
Lisa Blount, yeah, she's very
She was
attractive.
just some backstory on Lisa Blount. She was in Officer and a Gentleman. She played the
Really?
the trampy friend of Deborah Winger,
Wow.
and she is also an Academy Award winner.
What?
She was a producer on a short live-action film called The Accountant, and one of the co-producers on the film was Walton Goggins.
Of The Shield and
Yes.
Justified.
Are you talking about recent, like a couple
Yeah,
years
Yeah,
ago?
like within the
recently.
last
Yes.
several years.
Oh, wow. I remember seeing that. I remember
Yeah.
when they went up and accepted the award. I'm
Yep.
like, holy crap, that's the guy from Justified.
Yeah.
Well, back then he was the guy from The Shield.
Well, she was, I think it was her and maybe her husband, or
God.
maybe her producing partner. Don't quote me on that.
What?
Another with three of them.
I wish I knew whatever happens to all these short films and short animations that nobody ever sees.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Whoa.
Oh boy,
Dude,
easy.
take some
Easy
acting
killer.
classes, buddy. I like his shirt.
So,
He's going to make his move now.
he's not quite a ladies' man.
That's a big bag for a...
Porno
See,
mustache.
don't they give you almost like a little creepy vibe? Like
Yeah,
the
he-
musical note. Ding. He smiled. It's like, what is he, creep or something?
Yeah. When they start talking quantum physics and all, I'm kind of like, all right, I'm just going with all this. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah, me too.
He's like, yeah. How
Yeah.
about you loosen that shirt?
How about how soon?
Is that a breakaway blast?
You have a knot on your shirt.
How
Can
long do I
unknot
have
it?
to listen to her before I can get her in the sack?
You know, I was on Simon and Simon.
I can do card tricks.
Yeah, he goes, he makes his move, and she's like, no, cheesy move.
How rude is it that you're talking to her and you're playing with your cards?
I don't know.
Dude, pay attention. Uh-oh.
Obviously, she has something to prove.
Yes.
You don't like my card tricks?
Well, they're going to end up together anyway. You know, so he's got some appeal. Ooh, he touched her.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
She's going to mace him. Gee, you're so cheery.
Yeah, the movie was made for $3 million. Its U.S. take was $14 million.
That's not bad.
So it made a modest profit domestically. She's up for it.
I think they shot it in like a month.
Yeah.
It's like a 30-day shoot, something very brisk.
Well, he was an economical filmmaker.
Mm-hmm. What do we know about the cinematographer, Steve?
That is Gary Kibbe,
Mm-hmm.
who I guess after Dean Cundey kind of went off on his... I mean, he became somewhat of a director after working with Carpenter. This Gary did almost all his films through Ghost of Mars.
Mm-hmm.
And not a ton else. But he did work with some...
Uh-oh.
Now, here's your first inkling that there's some demonic things going on. Little bag lady, creepy bag lady with the bugs on her.
That could be bad for your complexion.
I love it when Donald Pleasance gets agitated. The evil is gone from here.
So I wonder, is he playing the role as being somewhat frail, or was he in real life? Because he definitely sounds a bit worn in this.
Well, I mean, he died in 96 or 95. And the next group of films he did after Prince of Darkness, he reprised Loomis for Halloween 4 and 5. He was definitely on his downward slope.
It's probably by design. I think that the despair of his character, even at this early stage, when he truly understands what's going to happen, and the insurmountable task that they do have to try to resolve it in some way.
He definitely plays it with a weariness.
Yeah.
Well, plus, I think too, he's dealing with the fact that everything that he believed as a priest is breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's got to be devastating.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to pick up any hints throughout this film that would give us any positive feeling towards the end of the film?
This is a Carpenter film.
Are there any like Easter eggs through the movie that give you more information about the conclusion of the movie?
Well, you know that you're setting me up.
The
dreams.
Right, the dreams. But
Yeah.
like by getting to know her character now, are there certain things
Oh, her in
about
particular.
Right.
That's actually an interesting question, and I don't know.
Because sometimes a writer will hide things.
Yes.
That you can then go back and say, that's what that was
Yeah,
about.
why
and
would
that's-
she be? You know, it seems like a very random thing. We're assuming people who have seen this film several times know where it's going. That why is she chosen to be the one to quote unquote defeat them?
Right.
But yeah, no, I think it's something we need to pay attention to as the film unspools.
Because a lot of times when you craft a story like this, they purposely pick the least expected person to be this climactic
the heroine,
individual,
right?
And just for the sake of shocking value, or just for the sake of tricking you. But was John Carpenter the type of person that would craft something and weave it so much on purpose because he's good?
Well, he's the guy who likes to break convention. So I think if you're a typical audience member, you're going to think that, yeah, it's going to be Jameson Parker who's going to be the hero and save the day and all that other stuff. And no, it's not. Far from it. And, you know,
I still think
she's being set up as sort of a cynical, you know, socially, not socially adept person.
I still think that he's purposely trying to creep us out with him a little bit.
Jameson Parker?
He's trying to Carpenter's trying to show us a little bit of, well, maybe this guy's not completely cool. Because, like I said, there's certain musical cues we heard, certain looks he gives people that it's like, what the fuck? You know, what are you trying to imply here?
There he is. Steve, you want to talk about this gentleman?
Well, before we get into Alice, so that little exchange that they had in the bed, first of all, reminded me a lot of The Fog, where you have people who really don't know each other just hopping right into bed. But secondly, the dialogue was an homage to Have and Have Not with Bogey and Bacall. It's kind of a play on their dialogue.
Okay.
So there he is, Alice Cooper.
Now, is the assumption that
rock legend,
whatever is happening is having an effect on certain types of people at first, or is this a cross section of everybody?
Well, I think what it is they're starting with the insects, so they're starting at the base,
the social. In other words, the social levels.
Right, exactly. And it's just kind of working its way up.
Because these are all like homeless people we're looking at here.
Right, but they might also possibly have some sort of mental capacity issues,
right?
Perhaps.
And it's easier for the demon to take control of them first.
Now, that wouldn't freak you out when you have 10, 15 of these weird people
staring at you? Yeah, it would freak me out.
I'd be like, check, please, I'm gone.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, you know, there's some...
Too bad we can't stay, baby.
Yeah.
It's almost, again, you said it earlier, Steve, it's like they're setting up the Alamo.
Right.
In,
exactly.
This is Assault on Precinct 13. Absolutely.
Yeah,
that was a great analogy.
That gal in the back with the glasses on, she's been in a ton of television shows. As recent as Cold Case all the way back to
oh my gosh,
Days of Our Lives.
Wow. There's Peter Jason, another member of the Carpenter ensemble.
Wasn't he also in Karate Kid? Isn't he the guy?
He's the soccer coach.
No, isn't he the guy who threatens when they're at the beach?
Well, no, isn't he the guy that like tells Ralph Macchio, "No, you're not good for this team"? I'm pretty sure he's definitely in the Karate Kid. There's no.
I'm not sure. I thought he was one of the guys who they're lining up beer bottles on the truck when they're at the beach. Mr. Miyagi's there with, and he says, please move the bottles.
Right,
and then he says, why don't you move it yourself, Mr. Moto? I think that might be him.
Oh.
And then Miyagi,
he
hits the tops of the bottles and he breaks the glass.
I'm going to stick with my guy.
It's Riptide time.
Yeah,
it's Riptide. Now, this is interesting. This gentleman, these are reshoots. Because if you notice, he's not really in with the rest of the crowd in the movie.
Right, he's kind of separate.
He's kind of off to his
segregated.
Own. So these are
why do they reshoot?
Well, not reshoots, just extra stuff.
Oh, okay.
Done later on after the main shoot was done.
Pickups.
Sorry.
I like his 80s tie.
Yeah.
Square
and his Walkman.
The Walkman. There you go. He doesn't look as nerdy as he did on Riptide.
Peter Jason is sort of a latecomer to. I think that's an Amiga computer, by the way. Peter Jason worked with Carpenter in his later period. He's in They Live, and he's in a lot of his 90s films. I know he's in The Mouth of Madness and Village of the Damned. He might be in Escape from L.A. I have no idea what's happened to Dennis Dunn. It's not funny. You're not. It's okay. You're not going to get laid this
Sure,
weekend.
nothing wrong here. And oh boy,
There he
he
is.
scares me.
That crazy laugh.
Jesse Lawrence Ferguson. And the only other film I know him from is Darkman.
Really?
He's in Darkman.
He looks familiar.
Yeah. Well, he has a kind of a Brock Peters voice, but that's, you know. Peter Jason was also in Body Bags. He was in Escape from LA. He was in Ghosts of Mars.
Not exactly Windows, huh? School's out forever. No.
I think Alice Cooper and John Carpenter had the same agent or something.
Same manager. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a management connection for
Yes.
sure.
I love the fact that it's him. He looks great. And we can get into this later, but I think, and I don't know, Steve, if you know anything about this, the whole bicycle thing is part of his act.
Right.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Sure, that's not scary.
I expect her to lick him.
Did you hear her voice?
Yeah. Ooh, little.
Yummy. Now, how much do you think he's told him already? Everything?
How much his father Loomis told Barack?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think now you're going to get the whole revelation. Jameson Parker was sporting an old leg injury he picked up while making Simon and Simon.
Yeah, apparently he had to take a lot of siesta time in the trailer.
Yes.
Let's take a look at his expression, see if it's pained.
Oh, this is nice.
The mother of harlots.
Oh, lovely. That happens all the time.
Yes, Shep Gordon, who was one of the movie's executive producers, was Alice Cooper's manager. And the church is the Japanese Union Church of Los Angeles, built in 1922.
Wow.
Then the building became a historical landmark in 1995, and it is now the Union Center for the Arts.
He's already freaked out. So not everybody's been down there yet. I guess
Right.
they're going in shifts.
Our first victim.
Yes. Kelly.
She looks a little bit like the girl from Star Trek 4.
Catherine Hicks?
A young version of
Well,
her.
from what I read, she's one of her claims to fame is press-on nails advertisements.
Oh, wow.
So this was her big hit.
Well, I don't think she's been in anything since of note. I love listening to the old keyboard noises.
Yeah.
Look at that monochrome screen. Yeah, that all makes sense to me. Carlos, can you tell us what that is?
It's not Spanish, I'm pretty sure.
Well, you don't even translate Spanish right.
You got a good point. You could smell those Tandy computers cooking.
Said it was an Amiga.
Amiga?
Oh, a step above Tandy.
Whoa,
Ooh,
easy.
uh-oh.
That's
Uh-oh.
gonna burn.
That's going to leave a mark.
But she didn't touch the canister.
No. Yeah, that's a good point.
So I think that what it's
Whatever
doing is it's exploiting weakness, which is probably why It's starting with the insects, then it's moving to the homeless.
Mm-hmm.
And it's making worm spaghetti.
That too.
Now, they've never translated this stuff until now.
Well, it's been hidden away for 500 years.
That's no excuse.
Susan, radiologist, glasses.
Quick, give me that stat. Excuse me?
Exposition.
Oh, that scares the crap out of me.
I mean, I don't know about you guys. I didn't see this in the theater.
No, me neither.
But, I mean, I was intrigued. I mean, the film held my interest. I don't know why, I just don't understand critics.
Again,
they don't get him.
Call the cops. Look at these weirdos out there. Look at him. Come on, dude. Just call the cops. So somebody delivered Chinese food. In this. Pizza.
Well,
Shasta.
Before the shit hits the fan. This is great. A little Tom and Jerry. A little foreshadowing here.
Oh, boy. Little, huh?
Wonder how much it cost them to use this clip. Yeah, Shasta.
Chinese pizza. All sorts of cuisine represented.
Chinese and pizza, not Chinese pizza.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Chinese pizza.
I'm sure you can get it in California.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why don't you go and talk to them? Yeah. Call the police.
Now, just to get back to Steve the Bruise, do you think that the...
What?
hey, I'm making a point here.
What?
They're talking about, is the entity infecting the computers, and maybe that touching the computer, is it already in there? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm making sense.
But is it like he said, is it just the fear? It's not the fact that she touched it. It's the fact that she got paranoid that, I hurt my arm, and now it's
I don't know.
manifesting in that.
Maybe. Yeah. See, you could tell he's done during pickups, because this is the end of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't interact with
No,
a lot of
no.
people, just like 3
You
or 4
could tell they
people.
probably shot him out in like 2 or 3 days at the most. Is that an Alice Cooper song playing in his Walkman?
That's a good point.
It might be. Because I think Alice Cooper, there's a song called Prince of Darkness. That's pleasant.
This is probably the time where they used to like shoot a music video and
Yes.
clips of some weird people or something.
Here he comes. Now here he comes with the bike.
So apparently this bike impaling gag that we're about to see is actually lifted from Alice Cooper's stage performance.
Right.
And that bike is actually the bike that he uses.
That's so cool.
It is a different way,
That's an interesting way to kill someone.
It's like, okay, I go,
And he just...
Oh.
Look at him.
Oh.
now why would you say that they purposely painted him all like gray and white, but the rest of them are not?
I don't know.
Or is that his natural
It
complexion?
should be his natural complexion.
It's interesting how he's just kind of sitting there. Perfectly balanced on the bike.
Yes.
Very creepy.
Exposition.
So the liquid is forming into something cohesive or concrete.
And once again, Does he know what's happening? Because like
Correct.
they have these younger people. The students are kind of trying to figure out what's going on, but these guys know what's going on.
Well,
Well, I think that, again, you have the science and the religion debate that's happening. Donald Pleasance on one side and our scientists on the other side. So now the science is starting to slowly realize what is happening because they just cannot explain it.
But is Donald Pleasance's side of this is that you can't stop what's happening, you can only witness it?
well, I think he wants to stop it, but he doesn't know how.
But his dogma doesn't let him switch to the scientific side? Is that
Well, he knows that he needs these people to fight what's coming. Again, his dogma, everything that he's been taught as a priest is all breaking down. So he's going outside religion. He can't go to the Vatican. They don't know what he's talking about.
even though this whole thing started out as a very religious...
Right. Well, because think about it. 500 years ago, science was hocus pocus. It was magic. You know, religion...
But I'm just saying the fact that, you know, you have all these crucifixes. It looks like as if they tried to deal with this in the past, and the way they dealt with it was just more religion.
Yeah, more religion. Throw more religion on it. Yeah, exactly.
So they acknowledge it's something dangerous, and you have to pour all the religion on top of it. But it's kind of like,
and apparently
we don't know what to do now.
Right.
You go and give it a try with your friends.
Well, apparently, for a while, it worked. For a while, they contained it somehow.
Like generations after
yes,
generations.
but now it's making a move, and they can't...
Now, the question is it making a move because it's making a move, or is it making a move because of what they were showing you, that supernova and blah,
yes,
blah, blah?
yeah, I do think that has something to do with
Did
it.
something trigger it, or is it triggering
No,
things
I see. I believe it's, especially with the flash forwards that we're going to see a bit later, I think everything is predestined.
Yes.
So
I agree with Steve.
the one element that does change the course of history, while that happens, the predestination still occurs anyway. It just it modifies exactly. So I think that this is all supposed to happen at this particular moment. So whether it's stirring up all these life forms, and whether the universe has anything to do with that,
it's a result of it, not the other way.
It's all part of the equation.
It's all part of the plan.
Anne-Marie Howard, that's her name. And apparently there was a scientific goof. She was talking about the carbon dating that she was performing on the lid, and that it was 7 million years old, I believe. Carbon dating only goes back 60,000 years. So just a little creative license with technology. But quite honestly, who would even know that?
Yeah.
Plus, are we to believe that they have the equipment there, that equipment is capable? I mean,
look, it's a movie. And Carpenter is writing about quantum physics, and, he's not a physicist.
Close your mouth.
Yeah, seriously, honey.
Oh.
That could be a problem.
See, now that's another thing. You talk about predestination. The liquid needs people, so this having all the students there might be part of its plan. It needed people to come to do its thing.
Even though it has control of all the wackos outside, they could just walk in there and use them.
Well, I don't know if the
wackos
wackos could walk it, because he had the key and he opened the door, and...
Or maybe the dream that they're having, the flash forward dream, is merely a dream, and what was predestined is what happens at the end of the film. Meaning that, to your point, they all needed to be there because one, if not all of these people, were going to be the host for the risen evil.
Right. That's a good point.
Because you're right. Ultimately, what is the purpose? If it doesn't take shape
in human form,
right,
or take over human,
meaning that why would it need these people to do anything? Why would it even bother? I mean, there's no way they're going to stop what's happening.
Right,
that's clear.
See, they should always be in pairs or threes. They can't go alone anywhere.
Here we go.
Oh, boy.
I like the music here. And see, when I see the monitors going all haywire, it makes me think that it's in the system.
They're not going crazy. That's just what they're doing, I think.
Well, I know they're
Scrolling.
supposed to be running tests and things.
Like, you go down there. No, you go down there. No, you can go down there.
He wants to keep the others in the dark.
It's like, is he being too scientific?
Well, you got the ultimate group of skeptics here, but they're all coming to they're all freaked out because they're experiencing things that are out of their experience, out of their what they consider the realm of possibility.
Uh-oh, crazy chick.
This guy thinks he's all that, you know? I mean, he's not.
Dude, she's not talking to you. I'll just go stare at the spaghetti worms.
You know, you could pass for Asian. He's really not as smooth operator as he thinks he is.
Uh-oh, another wacko chick. Ah, good, she's not totally wacko.
Well, she hasn't been taken over yet. That scene's actually kind of hot. It was just glasses. That's all I think of when I hear the title of this movie. I hear radiologist glasses.
Is that a flashlight? What year is this? 1930? It's a torch.
It's not out of the realm of possibility that she would have walked somewhere else. I mean, they were in there for probably a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
It's such a way with words.
Yes. Yeah, and that, like, some of the stuff he says.
Like, who wants to talk to you, dude?
Yeah, he's a douche.
Oh, don't go down there, man.
Oh, man.
Who's this guy?
He's bald sciencey guy. I don't know. I don't remember him in anything else.
Uh-oh, crazy time. Is he making his move again? Spaghetti.
There's spaghetti in the machine.
Yes, call the cops.
They're not going to call the cops.
Well, you never know. After the fifth watching of this film, maybe they will.
Yeah.
It's L.A. They're busy,
Yeah.
especially around this time frame.
This is pre-Rodney King.
Yes.
They
This
don't
was
come
like
to
the
this town.
this was the slow buildup of crack.
Yep.
This movie also reminds me of Seventh Sign
Yeah.
with Demi Moore.
Which I enjoyed.
Oh, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Michael Biehn.
Yep.
It's funny when you ever see film equipment used as props.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, is it supposed to look like that? Mm-hmm. Is there a filter on that?
A scrim?
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, Wow. Do they just borrow it, or do they actually have to get a prop that looks like film equipment? Are they allowed to place it, or do they need a union member to move the light?
He looks like a grip. Big burly guy.
It's like, again, rule number 1, nobody goes alone anywhere. This day and age, you need at least 3 people.
Mm-mm.
Look
There
out.
you go. This is great. Yeah. Nice sound effect. More debate.
Because he's trying to get to the bottom of existence. Not
right.
just the problem.
Yeah, he's thinking way too macro.
Right, he's trying to solve everything at once. And they're like, no, dude, we got a problem right here. Like, he can't move forward until he resolves the big questions.
It's not uncommon with brilliant minds.
Yep.
They're not rooted in reality.
They're stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Can't move. Oh, boy.
Right. Okay, Donald.
Again, more Carpenter philosophy here.
Yeah, well, Carpenter.
Is he sticking it to religion?
Oh yeah, are you kidding? Obvious. He's
So the ultimate debate is whether or not God is good.
Or
That's what they're questioning of themselves right now, in that the all-powerful being in the universe perhaps might not have our best interests in mind, as we know them.
Mm-hmm. This is Kaka. This could have been in the movie for about 6 seconds.
There you go. Break the rule. What is he, 3?
Or is the argument that there's a supreme being, that there is a God, and there is a devil, for lack of a better term?
They seem to be kind of in the scene before, stuck on the issue of whether or not they should have the right to be warned about the problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, that the church should have warned them about the problem.
You should have done something, or that kind of a thing.
Mm-mm. Now your escape is
you finished.
blocked.
Dude, go up the stairs, try to fight her off, rather than the
really
the Wacko Brigade. That's a problem.
Sporting a nice mullet.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, this is really nasty. It's so vicious. And this is our bag lady, yes. Oh,
Apparently an homage to Curse of the Werewolf.
classic Hammer film.
Mm-hmm. What a way to go.
Yeah. Oh.
Then the bugs eat you.
Well, we'll see him again. Another iconic scene.
Oh.
Oh. No, now since you mentioned it, Carlos, I do think that there's, you just look at
One will be chosen.
Lisa Blount's character, and like there's something there, something in her mind. She's thinking about this in a different way.
You never say hello.
We're here to kill you. It's good to me because I know there's a wacky ending here, but I remember I always get confused. What does that mean? And
What
I
does
guess
the ending mean?
What does it exactly does it mean? And I guess we'll talk about it as we
Yeah,
progress in the film.
I like how the equipment is sort of a combination of high tech and low tech.
Mm-hmm. Here we go again.
Yeah, see, right next to a monitor, you have dials.
Right.
Well, for the time, it's appropriate in
Yeah.
terms of
It's like emerging technology.
it's enough to
with old
be
school.
weird.
Well, it's like he
Red,
threw
green,
everything
yellow.
but the kitchen sink.
Look, he's got a calculator watch. That's how you can tell it's the 80s.
Okay, now there's some continuity issues going on with the moon here, because it's a full moon there. It was a quarter moon before, so it just keeps changing. But the last piece of information we received there was one will be chosen, and then we see there's some sort of symbol. Oh, okay, hold
Here
on.
we go. Important.
Our first dream sequence.
Now, have we talked about why the dream sequence looks like a television video
Well, because
recording?
it's a transmission.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a broadcast. They can't do it any other way than through your dream state.
But this is kind of like when we were talking about before. This is the first cookie they give you of what's
Yes.
happening.
Yeah.
You mean Bicycle Boy?
Now, why would you leave? I mean, if I were them, scientists being curious.
But we know they didn't leave. We know that.
Well, yes, but they think
they leave.
Well,
because,
some people
because
want
a lot of them are like, this
Wyndham.
is crap. This is BS. I'm gonna leave. This is you guys are wasting your time. That kind
Well,
of.
I think it's because they're scientists, and any religious mumbo jumbo, they don't want to hear supreme being. They don't
Yeah.
want to hear embodiment of evil. None of that crap. They just doesn't factor into them their belief system. She really doesn't like him.
Once again, you should go out in 2 or 3s. Don't go single anywhere.
Not everybody knows what's going
They
on.
don't know the rules. They didn't see Scream.
Don't they see the movies? What's wrong with them? Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll take a nap. Oh, she took off her shoes. That's even worse. All right, cue the creepy guy.
There you go. This is kind of hot. Now that looks like a very large man.
Yeah, now what are they saying? If you're receiving this...
You're receiving this broadcast. Yeah, 'cause we can't transmit through your conscious state. Now the priest knows about the dream.
Mm-hmm.
So what, he just had the dream?
Yes.
Yeah, they all had it. Whoever was sleeping.
Whoever was sleeping.
Okay. What? Meaning that these transmissions might have been happening for years?
Yeah. They're going back through time. They're tachyon emissions or some...
Look, she's not that, like, get away from me type.
Yeah, she's kind of like, well, I don't go that way, but,
I've seen this in a movie once.
I'm kind of
Once in band camp.
strangely attracted to you.
Whoa.
They sell it pretty well when they get the liquid. And then they make out.
In some cultures, that's a sign of respect. He's got a modern flashlight.
Yeah, where'd that one come from?
I know. Ooh.
Meow.
What? Where do you come up with some of these lines? He's such a dick.
He just doesn't want to be there.
I'm surprised they're not all passed out from the emissions from those candles. There's like 700,000 candles out there. They drop dead. Oh,
All right, so she snapped his neck, and now he's going to come back to life.
it's the evil juice.
All right, so she's the chosen one because she's got the mark on her arm.
Right.
Oh, nothing. Yeah, look, just like a bruise, except for the cross.
The symbol was taken from a Blue Oyster Cult album cover, sometimes referred to as the Cross of Questioning. Designed by artist Bill Gowlick for the band's first album and can be seen on several of their other album covers. Patterned after the astrological symbol of Saturn, Kronos, in the shape of a sickle.
Wow, that's deep.
Weird, wacky stuff.
Apparently Carpenter just liked the look of it.
Oh, she's so innocent.
She thinks somebody's knocking boots.
Yeah, don't turn the light on. Creepy.
Mona Lisa.
Oh, crap. See, I can't type that well. Dude.
It's pretty obvious she's not typing what you see on the screen.
All work and no play?
Mm-mm.
Okay, this is where... Okay. Plutonium is a god? Where the hell does that come from?
Is that supposed to be some, like
a nuclear bomb isn't going to affect me?
Is that supposed to be what they're talking about? Or some
don't
other
know.
kind of god that, from some other tribes or something? Or... He's like, am I going to get lucky or get killed? Which is it?
Ouch. Who's the dude on the left?
I don't know.
He looks like the guy from Emergency.
Meanwhile, back at Cinemax.
He's like, yeah, all right. He's like, he was probably like, John, can we shoot this again? I don't think we got it just right.
Yeah.
I think they left. Some scientist you are.
Yeah.
We go in a meeting and half the people are missing
Yeah.
now. What the hell you people been doing? Now, did he have in his life or something? Did he have like some kind of stroke or something?
Donald Pleasance?
Because his eye is always closed a little bit.
Oh, you mean Victor Wong?
Actually, both of them. He has his left eye a little.
Yeah, I don't
closed,
know.
And Pleasance has his right eye a little closed. See?
Yeah, just a little.
It looks like paralysis. Our favorite charming individual, I remember him in a show called Midnight Caller with Gary Cole.
Who?
The Asian kid.
Dennis
Dennis
Dunn
Dunn?
was in Midnight Caller.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
correct.
wow.
He was the board op.
He was the board op, and Gary Cole was an ex-cop who was a radio host who was
Yes.
solving
God.
crimes
Yes, that's right.
back at NBC.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I was interested in that is because the theme song was by Brad Fiedel, who had done the music for Fright Night and the Terminator films.
Yes.
Oh.
But I go on a tangent here.
Mm-hmm. No, it's relevant.
Okay,
He's
again,
in
the
this film.
cards. I wonder if there's something about the cards. Am I forgetting? Is something important about the fact that he's always playing with cards?
No.
Statistics, tricks.
I don't know.
That's got to mean something, or it's the actor wanting to inject something into
Yeah,
it.
just having
See?
some sort of
tricks, the supernatural.
some visual, some tick.
He's got a calculator watch too.
Okay.
Now it's Night of the Living Dead.
Shit is hitting the fan.
They even have an incubator there. Uh-oh. Time to worship the tube.
There we go.
Hmm.
Apparently, Robert Graysmere, who plays Wyndham, was the film's visual effects supervisor.
Oh my God. They have a pretty big role.
And the bag lady was the casting director for Big Trouble in Little China.
Eh.
Right. I hate anything with bugs.
Oh.
Okay, now do you guys think there's a little
Yeah,
problem
there's a
here?
problem here.
You're coming apart. Yeah, we're going to have that looked at. Oh, boy.
I love what he's great when after he's been turned.
But it's funny because he's been turned, but he's like fighting it too. I think, isn't he? Or
He might
or just
be.
another weird version of being turned.
Yeah. Well, now here's the thing. He impales himself. So does he think that, by doing that, he could kill himself?
Is it he's fighting it? Like in Wrath of
right,
Khan.
Right, exactly. Is he fighting it? But he's laughing and he is so creepy.
Or is it just trying to gross them out?
That could be it too. You could take so much of what happens in this movie different ways.
Mm-hmm. Grassmere apparently still working in the business as a visual effects supervisor.
Oh,
He worked
okay.
on Salt, the Angelina
Oh
Jolie
my God, that's
film.
pretty current.
And one of his earlier credits was the film Daryl. Remember?
Daryl, yeah.
It was like each letter stood for something, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Was that with Dabney Coleman? Is that he and Daryl?
That was
No.
Cloak and
That was
Dagger.
Cloak and Dagger.
Back into the early 80s vault.
Daryl was Lenny was the dad, I think. Right?
Anywho.
Lenny from Laverne and Shirley was named Michael
McKean?
Michael McKean, I think, played the adopted father.
The music is classic Carpenter now.
You know, and they're always cutting to her for a reaction. You know, I'm noticing that.
Foreshadowing?
Yeah.
Don't go alone anywhere. That's perfectly normal.
Apparently, Dennis Dunn is in the television series Luck.
Is that right with Dustin
That
Hoffman?
HBO?
Yeah.
Wow.
He must be a lot older now, I guess.
You think it's only been 25 years?
Yeah, but
Master of the obvious.
The uncanny ability of overstating the obvious.
Sorry. I know, you hate me now, right? I'm sorry. Look at him with the sad face.
Oh, boy, that's not good.
Explain that, Mr. Technical. What is that?
it's upside down rewinding the film. Upside down, reverse film.
Mr. Technical. And it's just pouring into her.
Oh, my God.
Gravity only works one way, except in Star Trek.
So it's volume, because she obviously doesn't need what was sprayed into some of the
Yeah, she's getting
subordinates.
She's
right?
getting the whole
Oh,
Megillah.
She looks like Linda Blair.
Yeah, she does. Victor Wong was in The Last Emperor, which is I believe, Academy Award-winning film. And apparently he argued so much with Bernardo Bertolucci, who directed the film, about the authenticity of Chinese culture and everything. He cut like 90% of his scenes.
Wow. So how did they not get him while he was down there?
Oh.
Skunk you. That's how skunk gets you.
Yeah, Donald Pleasance is like...
Gotta go, bye.
I'm going to hide now. She's kind of got the Alice Cooper complexion now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Is that like a confessional?
I was just about to say that. I think that's a confessional.
It's a little big, but it's that kind of a screen
Yes.
on the door.
Oh, and he's
Right.
back.
I love his laugh.
Broken neck and all.
Yeah, it's a horror movie. In case you were wondering. It says, disposable guy, help me with this couch.
Disposable guy.
Could you try on this red shirt
Red
for me?
shirt.
You're right. Hey, red shirt.
Gee, it's a good shirt, but why is it all red? Oh,
It's
come on.
No,
Lieutenant-
not me.
It's Lieutenant Deadmeat. Like in Hot Shots. Call sign Deadmeat.
Or in Galaxy Quest, Guy.
Right.
It's phone guy.
Sam Rockwell.
It's Guy. Keep walking backwards.
Yeah, a little bit of a coward. I've always liked I mean, he gives you those moments to breathe, and he ramps up the tension, and then some, shit hits the fan, and I always thought he was the master.
By the way, just getting back to Midnight Caller, wasn't Bubba in that? Michael T. Williamson?
Oh, you mean from Forrest Gump?
Yeah, wasn't
and
he?
Justified.
Because Gary Cole was a cop.
An ex-cop.
Right. He like shot his partner or something
Right,
like that.
right.
He quit the force and he starts
might be-
this
I might have to
show.
look into that.
And then I think Michael T. Williamson was
an
a
early-
cop
An
or
early role, I guess. Don't shut the light off. Shut the light off.
We were talking before about the grosses of Prince of Darkness and how well it did. Apparently, it's the fifth highest or fifth most profitable Carpenter film, after Halloween, The Fog, Escape from New York, and Christine.
Excuse me.
It's more profitable than They Live, Starman, The Thing, Vampires.
She should have that looked at.
She looks like she's carrying octuplets. She's Octomom.
It's like, all right, time for a little breather. Oh boy, another one. Another one for the zombie brigade. See, that leaves me to believe that he's changing, but he hasn't yet, because sometimes they seem to be fighting.
They're trying to fight it. I think that's a valid point.
Except for Alice Cooper, he doesn't give a crap.
Well, the homeless, they're
gone already.
They're gone. And I think that's
and
it's
funny
because
on future films like They Live, he makes a point of the homeless too. He places them in a certain room or a certain place in the storyline in terms of how they're marginalized and everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
you
not
should
good.
see a dermatologist.
You need a little cream on that, I think. Now, why wouldn't they come after him? Is there something about daytime makes them stop?
Yeah, I get the sense that they're not as effective in daytime.
It ain't Lisa, bro.
I'll just sit here and think about what I've done. Walter? Oh, yeah, I remember this.
Oh, hey, easy.
Trying to help you out, dummy.
Jesus.
Oh, you're going to love this one. So the guy with the broken neck, is his name Dirk Blocker?
Was he a kid actor?
His
I think
father was in Bonanza.
Dan Blocker.
That's him.
Yes,
Looks just like
that's
him.
who it is.
Holy cow! For you trivia
And he was
buffs.
also on Simon and Simon.
But his
Awesome.
father,
That's
yeah,
probably how he
looks just like his
He
father.
does
Yeah.
look like his father. That's
Wasn't
great.
he like the goofy cowboy looking
He was
guy?
the big
Yes.
burly guy.
What was the name of the character?
Hoss and Little Joe.
Little Joe?
Maybe he was Little Joe. I don't know.
No, Little Joe was Michael Landon's
Landon?
character. Yeah.
There
There was three of them. Yeah.
No, it's not. You could do that in 30 seconds from the look of it. 6 years. Oh, dude.
You know what? Just for that, I'm not going to help you.
What?
Dennis Dunn. I'm just like, no, I'm not helping you. Let the lesbian possessed chicks get you.
But I think they wrote him like that on purpose. They normally that's the guy they kill first.
Yeah.
The whiny, snivelly guy, but they kind of, I guess it's a little bit of comic relief
Yeah.
in a very serious, effed up movie.
There's that giggling again.
Now he's in the room with the mirror, and I guess he's getting his instructions, or he's looking at it like.
He's conflicted. Maybe he's realizing he's not himself.
I think he's acknowledging that he needs to do something, get someone. It may get Kelly, the pregnant looking one.
Well, but the mirror is definitely having an effect on him.
Yeah, it
that
is.
Normally, his zombified body would not.
It just looks as if he's nodding. Yes, I know. I need to do something. Now, again, would you do this? I don't think I would do this.
Oh, see right there, my legs would be gone.
I wonder if that's his. Oh no, he got the injury on Simon and Simon.
Yeah, that's a stunt.
And that was a stuntman who jumped.
What was the plan again? Why can't he get up on the fence and climb over the fence?
I was thinking that too.
Well, that didn't work too well, did it? It almost looks like they could jump from one building to the other.
Mm-hmm.
I love how he keeps talking to them. Like, he's still a wise ass.
Yeah. Well, now he's just terrified and.
And how did they bring the tube to that room?
Yes, they moved.
Yeah, they moved
Oh,
it.
okay.
When all the
Susan and the other one-
monitors went dead,
Yeah.
and they ran down there.
See, one of them should have laughed a little, and then gone back to zombie mode.
There you go.
Uh-oh, who's taking a nap?
Now you never.
199.
Yeah, 1999. You never get a sense of if that. I mean, it looks like a male figure, and there's never any sort of glimpse of the face.
Oh, Bricks.
Who
dude.
is this guy, by the way?
I don't know. Mullet dude.
You're never going to get through Bricks. I mean, I know they get through, but I would see Bricks and be like, you're toast, dude.
Yeah, sorry.
No bricky, no shirty.
We tried.
I thought it was just sheetrock. Like in Escape from New York, he can go through he can just brrr and go through walls.
But here, you're saying there's no point in trying to escape. If they don't contain what happens, them escaping the Prince of Darkness, quote unquote, is coming. They have to stop him.
Oh, I'm remembering the ending now. Now I'm depressed.
Yeah, there's a little foreshadowing going on here. Kissy, kissy.
Oh, jeez. Or is it that the priest's aura is making him uncomfortable, but he realizes because he's behind the mirror?
I don't think the priest has anything to do with it.
Because he's having trouble. He's not just being Mr. Evil, look at the mirror. To me, it looks like he's having some kind of conflict.
No, I disagree.
You think he's just getting his instructions?
I think he's getting his instructions. I think he's like, okay, yeah, whatever you say, gonna do it.
Well, the one thing that we haven't been given a sense of is whether or not each of these people is going to be easily turned. So perhaps, like, he was singing Amazing Grace, so they're probably trying to let us in on his background, that he was a religious person.
Right.
It's a little more
That
difficult.
he went to
turn.
church, so that
Right.
for him he's more conflicted, as opposed to some of these other people who, it doesn't seem as if their
have any
faith
faith.
is really that important.
Mm-hmm.
At least that was the way I interpreted
I
it.
think it's good.
Oh, Shirtware woke up.
Right, he needs a vessel.
So the long story is that the son comes back to bring
The father.
Satan back.
Right.
Or the creator at this point. We don't know, are we saying that God is good or bad or both?
Or is he the anti-god?
Right.
Well, don't forget one thing we didn't touch on when they were discussing it, the notion that yes, Jesus Christ existed, but he was some kind of an astronaut sent to warn us about the Prince of Darkness. That they were talking about.
They got into that?
Yeah, in the middle of the film, we probably should have touched on it then. But yes, they were admitting Christ's existence, but not in the way that we.
Not in Scripture.
Not in Scripture. Not as. Not maybe that there is no God. That he wasn't the Son of God, but he was sent from an alien race to warn us, and they crucified him.
I got a pie.
Which I think would really upset Tony if he ever saw this film, which I doubt.
I think the microphones would burst into flames if they heard that. We love you, Tony.
He's never going to hear this.
See, I still think that
He's never going to watch this.
I still think that whatever power he has, or at least the religion is giving him, it's helping him in this room a tiny, tiny bit.
Oh, Father, yeah.
Yeah.
The priest, yeah. Well, he's got nothing else to hold on to.
But it's within himself, meaning that it's not coming from an outside force.
No, but I'm
Yeah.
saying I think it's keeping the other guy from completely seeing him, realizing he's right there. Him.
Oh, him.
Yeah, I think it's slightly I mean, part of it could be him, his whatever, his personal religion is trying to conflict,
Yeah.
and then him on the other side doing his, readings or whatever.
Don't forget, though, once he's quote-unquote defeated, they all die immediately. So there's a part of me that thinks they are merely vessels. I'm not disputing the point that Steve made earlier, but I'm almost like they're only being kept alive by the green goo or whatever's inside of them. Oh, yeah.
That's a problem. You got to put a little ointment on that.
Like, come to me.
You know what's interesting? The fact that she lifts her face and there's nothing on the pillow.
Oh, no gook?
No gook, no
Yeah.
weird, makeup smeared. Uh-oh, he heard something. He smells something.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, time to go.
Uh-oh. This is when he totally freaks out. Which he should have been doing the whole time. They're trying to get him, and he should have been working on his end to get free. Come on, dead meat guy, help me.
He can't dig either. He should dig. Dig, dude. Listen, you go out for pizza. You kill the guy
You
over
get
here.
Chinese.
Let him crack another Asian crack again, and you'll show him who's boss. Uh-oh. Whoa. See, if it was that easy, you could have done it an hour
Yeah,
ago.
seriously, dude. Oh, I love this. You're looking really egg Shenish here.
Yeah. Forgot about him.
Now, what did he just sprayed him with soda?
Shasta?
Poisonous Shasta?
Oh,
there you
no.
go.
Oh, sorry, red shirt.
Oh, sorry, dude. He lasted a long time.
Hey, he did pretty good.
Oh,
yeah.
chopstick to the eye. Oh,
The question is also, can you kill these people that are possessed?
Yeah.
If they're already kind of dead. That's interesting.
Well, you know what's interesting is it seems like any mirror is a way in to the other universe.
Interesting.
But they need a big mirror.
But also the other guy was all freaky looking at the mirror because it was freaking him out, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa! Look out.
I'm not feeling so hot. Probably the Chinese. Projectile vomiting.
Hurry up, the chicks are almost here. So it's like, well, what do you do now? Oh, they bit him.
Now, shouldn't they just be focusing on getting Daddy into the
Right, like,
world?
why would they care at
Why
this
would they
point?
care about getting this guy? I love they just start smacking him with the bricks.
The bricks, yeah. On the head.
One minute you're hitting on her, the next minute you're hitting her. It's like, that's not what I was supposed to look like.
Oh, this is great.
Oh!
This is the stunt man with the lady's wig on, about to go right through the window.
That's all right. Alice Cooper will take care of him. So what you do is you get a whole bunch of mirrors. You just run around with them.
I always wanted to, I mean, obviously, I'm sure they didn't build it, but, you know, you see the arm.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to see what was the whole figure. See, not big enough.
Batter up. Is he still in the same room?
Yeah.
What is that, like an oven?
A boiler room? I
Is
think
that
it's
what
a
that
boiler
is?
room, maybe. Like, yeah, I think that's.
He's like, there's a good mirror for me.
It's okay.
Get back in your thing there, dude. That's a lot of makeup.
Yeah.
You could see why they would get a nobody to do that role. They probably sat there for hours.
So I guess it's a mirror universe. It's supposed to be the evil universe. And you're out the window.
Hey, Linda
too.
Blair, goodbye.
See you, Susan.
Yeah, see you soon. Now, you know, he thinks he can make a contribution.
It's the typical James Bond problem. Less talking, more
More
action.
action.
Don't let the opponent know what you're about to do. Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just
You had to do the prayer
just
first.
get in there.
There you go. That's great.
Oh, boy.
Hey, look what I got. I got a spare.
Oh.
Oh.
He is really kicking his ass. That's
Oh,
yeah.
Damn. That's going to be a problem. Just break the mirror.
Carlos, you speak Latin, right?
That's a little problem.
Oh,
Yep. Always good for a few scares.
we haven't really had many of those in this film. Those zingers.
Those jolt moments, yeah. Well, like I said before, this is a hard movie to pin down. Look at that.
There you go. It's like a big paw.
So that's the father? Then?
That's the father.
So the figure that we see is Satan, supposedly.
You mean in the
Not
dream?
the son. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. Now, see, she's realizing what she needs to do.
it's like a legend.
You took the words
Yes.
right out of my
Yes.
mouth, you son of a bitch. I was going to
It's
say
Tim
it.
Curry.
It's Tim Curry, yeah. There you go.
Oh, now you wake up.
That's a great shot.
Great
I
shot.
love that shot. I read that Lisa Blount was a little freaked out filming that.
Any underwater shots are
Yeah.
not fun. All right, guys. See you tomorrow. Same time. We might need a few more assistants.
Will I be getting an A in this class?
Can I have those chopsticks back? And it's like, how are we going to explain all these dead people?
Well, that's another thing. Once the cops show up, how
Cops.
is
I've been asking for cops for the last hour
well,
and
they
a
do
half.
show up, and how in the hell do you explain any of this?
So now they're all released from their
Yes.
spell.
It's like, we've had a little problem. We're going to need a couple of lawyers here.
He's gonna go out and see if he can still keep his date with the chick from Century City.
Anyone see my bike?
Alice is gonna go play his next gig.
They don't look that released. They're still walking like a bunch of zombies.
Yeah, and I'd like to.
Did they say like a gas leak or something?
I'd like to see the Law and Order episode that follows this.
Right.
Where's CSI when you need him? Oh, he came back.
You
That's
guys
nice.
hanging out in their bathrobes. Yeah.
And chopsticks.
Yeah, you're going to the funny farm, Father Loomis.
They're just gonna blame him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he killed all these
It was
people.
that guy. Yeah, it was him. Yeah, he's not feeling well.
He wanted us to drink this Kool-Aid, and
It drove everybody nuts.
we didn't want to drink it. You know, made us wear these black sneakers, these black Nikes. That's not comforting.
No.
Now they really start messing with your head.
Yes. And it brings up an interesting point that once we finish this, I'll get to.
Well, it's the same message. Let's hear it. Okay, that's definitely
Okay,
her.
it's her. Now, all right, that's 1999, but Now we have a little shock moment. Let's get through that.
But
blah blah blah.
But again, it's that's it's a hook. It's a little hook.
But here now, okay, so he's gonna go to the mirror. Now we know he's distraught that she's gone. Typical Carpenter FU ending. He's looking at the mirror. Is he saying to himself, "I can get her back"? He's not. He doesn't care about the world. He's just in love with her. He wants her back.
Or is he being transfixed to like the...
Well, yeah, and he's got a... he says, "Do you have a bruise there?" I don't know. But what I'm saying is...
Well, it's from the fighting he has.
Yeah.
You could point it off to that.
But he's about to... Like, is he saying to himself, maybe not at this moment right there, but is he like, "I'm going to get her back"? You know, she's trapped. She's trapped. I love her. I want to get her back. But he doesn't realize that he brings her back as the vessel.
But okay. Now, hold on a second.
Does that make sense?
Let's take a step back now.
Okay.
What the hell
Just
does that
happened.
ending mean? In terms of, can we explain these transmissions now? The transmissions we were seeing before, there was a different person at the door of that church.
Right. They changed that.
But what was the transmission being told? That it's the year 1999 and something bad happened?
That
the devil is there now?
And
he's in charge of the world?
Well, that he came through and he's going to
and he
take
runs
it over.
What? The world or that church?
The first thing that you're assuming is that dream is another one of those broadcasts.
Well,
it might just be a dream.
But they're giving it to you exactly in the same manner.
True.
The same visual style.
Yeah, but that's because we're witnessing what's happening in the dream of the transmission, as opposed to when you dream, it's like hyper real. So while you can pick up on very minute details, it's also very cloudy.
So you're saying that could be just a dream.
Yes.
Not a transmission, but a dream of a transmission.
Right.
Okay,
so that's
he's
one
had
possible.
He's had the dream as a transmission when he was in the church.
They
like
all
the rest
have
of
at
them.
different points.
So
yes.
he's having the dream again.
Okay.
You could argue that it's just a dream, like Steve said. And again, so obviously, this happens in 1987, that, a certain amount of time goes by and he's haunted by her and he wants to, he thinks he can save her. He knows how she got lost.
You're giving me a very optimistic, or as optimistic as possible, of an ending here.
Well, it's not optimistic because if he brings her back, she's going to be
but he's
as
had no way of bringing
the
her
devil.
back now because she's there.
Yeah.
And until the next time this happens, that everybody's where they're supposed to be.
Right.
But is it possible that her being there was meant to be? That's the transmission.
That's the other option.
That's the flip
Meaning
side
that
of this.
even though that they were being initial transmission had the dark figure, she is replacing that dark figure. We assume, because all the other circumstances are the same. It's the same camera move. The dialogue is the same. Yep. The date is the same. But there's something about the way that she looks that would make you believe that she's some sort of evil figure, or she is now representing Satan.
Right. Or again, like you said, go back to what I would consider to be a more optimistic ending. It's just a dream now.
What, the whole thing?
No. This ending dream, this last dream, is just him having a bad dream.
Yeah.
Of what just a traumatic experience that just happened to him.
But I think the implication is that they didn't save the world, that the world is just going to end with a different person coming.
How do you get that implication from what? If this last dream, we're tossing it aside.
Oh, well, you're tossing it aside. I'm saying
if you're not tossing it aside.
No, I'm not tossing it aside because it's Carpenter. That's how he does things. It's part of the Apocalypse trilogy. I don't think he's giving us that option. I think he's saying that you tried and you failed.
It helped for a few minutes.
It's like The Thing. You could say
it's ambiguous.
Right.
And
he loves ambiguity.
And you're allowed to interpret what really does happen from this point forward. Mm-hmm. So let's just say that it wasn't a dream. Let's just say that, getting back to what we said before, everything was intentional. So that while the initial transmission showed them the dark figure, at the end of the day, what was actually going to happen is she was going to jump in, and she was going to be the one to come back and wreak devastation on all mankind.
Right.
You wouldn't be able to see that until that actually happens, meaning that they're seeing these messages. The timeline hadn't been altered yet until she jumped in, which is why we wouldn't be able to see that as a transmission coming from the future.
Now, weren't they saying earlier that these transmissions only happened when he's close, or they happen throughout time? And
Well, there's two separate explanations for the dream. You have Donald Pleasance's, you have Father Loomis's explanation, the Brotherhood of Sleep. So that way, when a phenomenon that occurs when people are in close proximity, that they start to share dreams, or you have the technological end, which is our technology in 1999, or it's probably much farther in the future. So almost like a Terminator type scenario.
even
Just
though they're
because
saying-
she's
Like,
that's the
just
moment.
because she's coming out of the church doesn't mean that the world is going to end right there. Perhaps that sets into motion.
but it's being sent.
other
The message
future
is being
events.
sent from 1999, right? That's the
Yes,
technique.
we are transmitting from the
From
year
the
1999. Yes,
they have the technology to do that at that point. Well,
Right.
for the in the beginning, in your first explanation, the secular, not the secular, the religious
The
explanation.
theological?
Yeah. There is no. We don't get a sense of proximity in terms of. He's by himself in his bedroom. We don't get the sense that a lot of other people are around them, so that they could all have that dream together.
Right.
We only see him having it by himself. So.
Right.
And we also don't know that some other events have been happening that would trigger that kind of a climactic dream, because he looks like he's waking up, and his face is still a little bruised from what happened in this story.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know if it fits that. The second one might be more likely in terms of he's being bombarded by a message from far away. That seems a little more likely if you want to go the route of the pessimistic ending. The Carpenter view.
I just think that it goes back to me that the idea that he's so in love with her and he's so devastated by her loss that he would do anything to get her back, not thinking that she could be possessed or a vessel or whatever. And maybe it is in the year 1999. Maybe he goes back to that church in 1999 and he pulls her out and the shit hits the fan.
Who knows? That's obviously that's reading a lot into
Because
a very ambiguous
I don't
situation.
well, it's what Carpenter wants you to do.
He obviously is missing her, and and the touching of the mirror could be interpreted as just an emotional thing between him and this is how she died, and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Or you could say it's the beginning of him being
Possessed.
jumping into it and
or
coming
right,
back or whatever. But who knows?
Pulling her out.
They're definitely and I mean, is there any information out there in terms of what meaning he would like us to, or he'd like this is his staple, this is his trademark?
I think it's
letting you
ambiguity.
stew in your own juices.
I think just for people to know that there is a Carpenter commentary for this film with Peter Jason. It's only available on the Region 2 DVD. The domestic DVD does not have this commentary, and I would point people in the direction of that if they want to hear. I don't remember. I've heard it, but I don't remember if Carpenter addresses that point at the end. But I would tend to believe he just likes to leave it up to your interpretation, and he's the king of ambiguity.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
You want to give a shout out to that fan site?
Yeah,
Also,
sure. There's an awesome Prince of Darkness fan site. You can find it at www.jcpod.net, and it's fairly well updated. They have lots of good trivia, quotes, transcripts,
interviews with cast members.
Cast members, galleries, box office, the whole plot synopsis. So I would highly recommend that. I got a lot of good nuggets for this commentary from it.
Cool. So, just to wrap it up here, I'd like to thank both the Steves for joining me today for this really creepy commentary that continues our Carpenter examination and fawning over that we've been doing for God knows how many years now.
Yep.
And we will see you here next time when we do another one of these weird commentaries or regular shows or anything like that on Geekfest Rants. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Studies the world with hungry eyes. Prince of darkness, ready to baptize you in light. Heart of evil, soul of blackness.
Stop. I agree with Steve.